Joining for the Bhagavad Sanga program. This is our Srimad Bhagavatam program, and we are currently reading Lord Brahma's prayers to Sri Krishna. And today is the last day where we will be reading on this theme. We will be starting with a new theme from next week, but more on that later. Today, I have got the opportunity of presenting my the verse and my realization. Let me quickly share my screen. Before I begin, I would like to thank Satyasara Prabhu and Jai Subhadra Mataji and all the devotees for giving me this opportunity today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today's verse that I will be speaking on is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, verse 8. Tattenukampam susamikshamano Bunjana ivatma kritam vipakam Ritvaga vapurvir vidadhan namaste Jivitayo muktipate sadaya bhag. Translation: My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Om Jnanatignantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmukhamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. This is a very beautiful and a glorious prayer recited by Lord Brahma to Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Srila Prabhupada has actually quoted this verse in many purports and lectures. It's a very important verse, and today I'll be speaking about this verse. Here in this verse, Lord Brahma is saying, who is qualified for liberation? That is, who is rightfully eligible for the liberation? So what Brahmaji is saying is, pure devotees wait for Krishna to bestow his causeless mercy upon them. And how are the pure devotees doing it? How are they waiting it? How are they waiting? They're waiting patiently, suffering the reactions of the past misdeeds. The word susamikshamano indicates that a devotee earnestly awaits for the mercy of the Supreme Lord, even while he is suffering the painful effects of the previous sinful activities. Past misdeeds, atmakritam and vipakam, these are our reactions to the past misdeeds. Generally, when something does not go as per our plan or as per our expectations and it causes suffering and pain to us, then our immediate natural reaction is to blame others or blame our fate and then think, why is this happening to me? I'm doing everything right. Still, why am I being punished? There is always this question, why do bad things happen to good people? Then what happens? Then we go through this kind of suffering. The suffering causes immense disturbance in our mind. But instead, if we await for them, not fearing them, not running away, not trying to deny them or complain about them, just wait for things to come and pass. We all have to go through suffering in due course of time. If not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then in few days or months, it will come to everyone. And sometimes these reactions, they do not seem to go away. Still, we have to patiently wait for the reaction to subside. Patiently suffering the reactions of the past misdeed. Instead of investing consciousness in these temporary actions of this external energy, where are we advised to invest our consciousness? So Brahmaji says, by offering respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. We have to invest our consciousness in the Supreme Lord. That is Krishna consciousness. Pure devotees, they are not disturbed even when they have the most distressed condition of life. They think, my Lord, it is your great mercy that you have put me into this distressed condition. In that distressed condition, the devotees take the opportunity to remember Krishna constantly. They say, Krishna, you are so kind. You have given me this distressed condition. A devotee knows when he is fully surrendered to Krishna. If there is some punishment from the side of Krishna, they accept it as mercy of Krishna. They have the eyes to see that. This is the mercy of Krishna. Krishna has put me into some dangerous position. That is also the mercy of Krishna. And actually, that is true. By a little inconvenience, the devotee is immediately rectified. A pure devotee shows gratitude to Supreme Lord and does not hold a grudge. They say yes to Krishna. A self-surrendered devotee of the Lord is called Narayana Parayana. Such a person is never afraid of any place or person, not even of death. For him, nothing is important as the Supreme Lord, and he gives equal importance to heaven and hell. He knows well that both heaven and hell are the creations of the Lord. Similarly, life and death are different conditions of existence created by the Lord. But in all these conditions and all circumstances, remembrance of Narayana, remembrance of Krishna is essential. The Narayana Parayana practices this constantly. So let's look at a few examples of the devotees. Like we all know Maharaj Parikshit. He was such a pure devotee. He was wrongly cursed by an inexperienced son of Brahmana, who was under the influence of Kali, and Maharaj Parikshit took this to be sent by Narayana. He knew that Narayana, Lord Krishna, had saved him when he was burned in the womb of his mother. And if he were to be killed by a snake bite, it would also take place by the will of the Lord. A devotee never goes against the will of the Lord. Anything sent by the God is a blessing for the devotee. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was neither afraid of nor was he bewildered by such things. And that is a sign of pure devotee of the Lord. Instead of punishing the Brahmana boy and going through the suffering that he is going to die in 7 days. Imagine if we all get to know that we have only 7 days left in our life. What is going to be our situation? So Maharaj Parikshit is a king. He just accepted the punishment given by the boy as the will of the Lord. And what he did in those 7 days? He spent the last days of his life listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. Such are the actions of the pure devotees. Next, we'll see Prahlad Maharaj for the example. He is such a pure devotee of Lord. Glories of Prahlad Maharaj are immense. He went through so many sufferings. His father Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him so many times. The assistants of Hiranyakashipu struck Prahlad with sharp weapons, threw him under the feet of elephants, subjected him to hellish conditions. They threw him from the peak of mountain, tried to kill him in thousands of other ways, but they were unsuccessful. As you can see in this picture here, the little boy, Prahlad Maharaj, is going through so much of suffering. Literally, his father is killing him. However difficult his situation was, he still went through the sufferings and kept praying to the Supreme Lord. And what happened? Supreme Lord appeared as Lord Nrsimhadev to protect Prahlad Maharaj. Such is the mercy of the Lord. Next example with respect to devotees who wanted suffering so that they can remember the Supreme Lord is Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti had suffered so much in her life. Generally, ideally in our cases, right? When someone has gone through so much suffering in life and has not had any enjoyment or happiness in life, there is no way we would ask for more pain and suffering to occur. We ourselves, at least that is my case, when even a little bit of something goes wrong in life, even if a routine changes, the first reaction is to pray to God to get us out of this pain or suffering. There is no way we will pray for more pain to be bestowed upon us. But Queen Kunti, in her prayers to Lord Krishna, she says, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. Pure devotees like Queen Kunti ask for more calamities because these suffering make us pray to Supreme Lord more and constantly. And by doing so, what will happen? We will come out of this repeated birth and death and go back to Krishna's abode, where we all belong originally. That is our home. We are here only temporarily. This material world is full of dangers. Padam padam yad vipadam. For example, if one is in an ocean, one may have a very strong ship, but that ship can never be safe because one is at the sea at any time that may be dangerous. The Titanic was safe. At the launch party of Titanic, one of the employees had even said, not even God himself could sink the ship. But what happened? On its very first voyage, it sank. 1,500 people lost their lives. This material world is very dangerous. Our goal should be to cross over the sea of danger as soon as possible. As long as we are in the sea, we are in a dangerous position, however strong our ship may be. And that's a fact. But we should not be disturbed by the sea waves. Instead, we should focus and just try to cross over the sea and get to the other side. That should be our business. As long as we are in this material world, there will be calamities because this is the place of calamity. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. But even with calamities, our business should be to develop our Krishna consciousness so that after giving up this body, we may go back home, back to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, in one of the lectures, gives us an example of a pure devotee in distress, Kolavacha Sridhara. Kolavacha Sridhara was a very poor and he was making a living by selling bananas. At night, he would chant Hare Krishna mantra very loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And his neighboring friends would say, this man has no income. And because he's hungry, now he's chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He must be really hungry. This is how he was being treated. So one day what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, Sridhara, you take benedictions from me. But Sridhara said, what benedictions, sir? Mahaprabhu said, well, you're so poor that your house is not even properly repaired. There are so many holes in the roof. So then what did Sridhara said? He said, still, I've got a nice house because it is better than the bird's nest. Birds' nests do not have roof and they live on the tree. At least I have got shelter. What is the difficulty? There is no difficulty. So he's saying, the bird's nest, my house, which is full of holes and on the roof, is still better than the bird's nest. He's not even complaining that he's so poor. When Lord himself is asking him for a benediction, that he can take anything he wants. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to offer him so many things. And what did Sridhara say? No, I have no trouble with this. If you really want to give me something, then please give me pure devotion on your lotus feet. Such is the attitude and desires of pure devotees. They want nothing but Krishna. They will go through any sufferings in life with a smiling face because their ultimate goal is to go back to Krishna. So while I was preparing for this class, I remembered that one of my relatives, she's a devotee of Lord Vishnu and she was practicing devotion all her life and but she went through immense suffering in the last few years of her life. She almost, she had a major illness, a terminal illness, and anytime we would ask her, how is she doing? She always said, I'm doing fine. She even had a stroke. And the very next day when I spoke to her, she said, I'm fine. She never ever complained about her health or blamed anyone for her suffering. Despite being in that most difficult state, she would keep remembering Lord and reciting the prayers. So when I was thinking, when we are reading and thinking of so many devotees, pure devotees, but we have many examples and many people that we come across where they are so much dependent on Krishna, and everything they think for Krishna, they are willing to go through any sufferings. Such are the actions, like these kind of actions, they increase our faith in taking up the path of pure devotion. And they want us to pray more and more to Krishna. They give us that inspiration. So then, continuing on the purport of this verse, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita explains that a devotee who's fully surrendered onto him is no longer liable to suffer the reaction of his previous karma. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasyami ma sujaha. Translation: abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, according to this, all our sinful reactions should go away. But then why do we still have to suffer if we are surrendering? We're not fully surrendering. So for this, Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, a devotee in his mind still maintains the remnants of his previous sinful mentality. So, in order to purify a devotee completely, what does Lord do? Lord, by his causeless mercy, will remove whatever leftover desires of enjoying is there. Like whatever we had the desires, whatever was there, those, and that it resembles like sinful reactions. But a sincere devotee serves the Lord by his heart, words, and body. He knows he's paying a small price for the hardship to gain the personal association of Lord. For him, all these small sufferings is nothing when compared to the big picture of going back to Krishna, of being with Krishna. Because this is temporary, what we are going through. While growing up, we all had to go through the exams, right? At that time, when we were taking the exams, it looked like the most difficult thing in the world. Of course, now we know it is not. But at that time, that was our thought process. But despite that, we knew that if we work hard, we will get good results and that will help our future. We thought, how much more hardship is there? Should we go through that? But we still tolerated these hardships because that was expected out of us. That was expected that we had to go through that. We had to do it because at the end of it, there would be good marks, which will be beneficial to our future. So we need to know what is it that we are going through right now? What is that suffering? Because there is something good coming out of it. But instead of seeing that suffering and focusing on that suffering, look at the bigger picture. Look at Krishna. Look at what services we have to do. So sincere devotees, they earnestly desire to go back to Lord's abode. They willingly accept the Lord's merciful punishment and continue offering respects and obeisances to the Lord. And such a devotee knows it is a small price to pay for gaining the personal association of Lord and becoming a legitimate son of God. They say, right, we cannot approach the sun without becoming fire. In the same way, we cannot approach the Supreme Lord without undergoing the purificatory process. The love for Krishna, the desire to go back to Krishna is there within every one of us. This dormant love for Krishna has to be revived. This whole purpose of Krishna consciousness is to revive our original love for Krishna. We have to strictly, sincerely practice Krishna consciousness and not compromise it. We should be convinced that Krishna consciousness is the right process, and we should have faith in this process. We have to perform devotional services. We have to do our sadhana, chanting, reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. eating prasadam, associating with devotees, performing the devotional services. So many opportunities are there for devotional services. When we do all this, we will become eligible. It will make us eligible to receive the mercy of Krishna. And there is no doubt in us going back to Krishna. This human life is very rare and it's very precious. Just this week, we realized we lost a very dear person. We know how precious life is and how uncertain death is. It can come any moment. And we are getting an opportunity to perform devotional service is even more rare. We have this chance in this life to practice Krishna consciousness. It's up to us how we make use of it. There's a quote, right? Time and tide waits for none. Every minute that is passing where we are not serving Krishna, we are wasting that time. We are losing it. We will never get back this time again. It goes very, very fast. So the time that we have left, let's use it to serve Krishna. That way, we can go back home, back to Godhead in this very lifetime. With this, devotees, we conclude the Lord Brahma's prayers to Sri Krishna. These are very beautiful prayers, and so much glorification of Lord Krishna has been given by Brahmaji. We started these prayers 4 months ago, and many devotees got the opportunity of reading Lord Brahma's prayers and presenting the verses and realizations. Many new devotees, for the first time, they have presented. And we all absolutely relished hearing all the devotees. And every Wednesday, we got a chance to hear Vaishnavas reciting Bhagavatam prayers. And everyone explained so beautifully the prayers and their realization. It was such a blissful experience. A sincere, heartfelt gratitude to all the devotees for the wonderful service. So with that, I conclude the presentation today, and I would like to quickly update on the next week. So from next week, we are starting with prayers of personified Vedas. This again is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87. I humbly request everyone to sign up for the new theme. And if anyone needs any assistance in preparing for these verses or has any doubts, then kindly discuss with Satyasara Prabhu. Prabhu has very kindly accepted to help us in preparing for these verses. With that, devotees, thank you all for joining the Bhagavad Sanga program today and giving me this opportunity to speak. If I've made any mistakes, please forgive me. With that, we will see you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Veena Mataji. That is a very amazing class you gave. You covered the importance of surrendering to the Lord and importance of the human life and all the chances that we had to, we will lose if you don't utilize this human life. Very nicely covered various devotees doing the services, Prahlad Maharaj and Parishad Maharaj, all those examples very nicely described. Thank you for the wonderful session, and thank you for, first of all, thank you for conducting the whole program. I know it is not an ordinary task, Mataji, you did, because coordinating with so many devotees, it is really challenging, and making last moment decisions, changes when people are not able to do things. That I really commend your overall leadership and conducting the whole seminar. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for your kind words, Prabhu. And thank you for being there all the time, every week, for helping us with the support and logistics and everything. And I'm learning so much from you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare.